Good morning, fifth grade online learners. Welcome to another day, Mr. Moses Science class, November 23rd, 2020. Uh, we had a good week last week. We're going to have a better week this week because we only have 3 days. Today, we read the book. Tomorrow and Wednesday, journal entries. Next week, we will review the book and 3 more journal entries, then a quiz. So instead of having 5 days in a week, this time we have 7, 3 this week, 4 next week because we're not here on Monday. So it'll be 7 days before your next quiz. And there may be an extra journal entry or 2 mixed in there from normally having 3. 2 this week, 3 next week. Okay, so that's the plan. 2 or 3, or 3 or 4 next week. I haven't made up my mind. I did tell the class earlier, if you get below a 7 out of 10 on your quiz, we give you another chance. You need to ask me for it though, send me an email or communicate somehow because I don't always catch it. I do mark it in my grade book as red and then I wait for somebody to say, can I retake it? And then I cross it out in red and put it in black. And often a score of 2 out of 10 can be much higher if you retry it. Okay, so consider that for retakes. Also journal entries, 3 a week, it's not a lot. We know about copying and pasting. We're not going to do it. Please don't do it. Let's get in good habits of putting things in our own words. Okay? And we also shared with the class that, who was the guy that invented the light bulb? I wanted to say Einstein. I got it wrong. Edison. Brooke got it. Brooke was, were you getting ready to say Thomas Edison?
Yeah.
Brooke, how many times did he fail at making the light bulb?
1,999.
Yes, he failed 1,999. Reese shared that with us earlier. But on his 2000th attempt, he did invent the light bulb. And yes, we have light because of it. So I don't like to only give kids one chances in honor of Thomas Edison, who got a lot more than one chance. And thank goodness we let him keep trying. So in science class, our theory is we're going to give you more than one chance. Today, we're talking about mountain formation. And we are surrounded by mountains in this part of the country. They're not as big as the mountains out west, the Rocky Mountains. But the Appalachian Mountain Range stretches from the tip top of North America up around upper state New York, and probably a little further, all the way down to Georgia. So the Appalachian Mountain Range is very big. It's not as tall as the Rocky Mountains, but it's very big. My sister bought a house in New York. It takes 7 hours to get there. And when you get there, it's beautiful. It's at the base of the Adirondack Mountains. There's not a whole lot else around there. And she opened up a bed and breakfast. So if you go there, you can stay the night, and it's cheaper than a hotel. And in the morning, her husband's a chef, and he'll cook you a delicious breakfast. So anyway, why would somebody want to go to the base of the Adirondack Mountains when it's 7 hours from Pittsburgh and there's not a lot to do around there? Anyone know why somebody would go there? Piper.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty. And you get to meet my sister, who's also very pretty. But anyway, people go there to ride snowmobiles. People go there to take trains through the mountain. People can jump on a train there and end up in the middle of New York City about 4 hours later. There's lots to do there. There's lakes there. When I say there's not a lot to do, it's not like around here where you have to go into the city to find big things to do. Out there, big things to do are with nature. So, I encourage you to go there someday. Tell great stories about Mr. Monzo. Brooke,
I've been to New York last year.
you were in New York. Were you in the city or were you in the country?
I was in the city.
I was in the city too.
Cody?
I didn't go there.
Sure. Okay, so, Eli,
I was in the country.
you were in the country? Okay. All right. It's scary. Why?
So we were staying in this house, and it was like made in the 1800s.
It's, my sister's house was made in the 1800s. It's you shouldn't be afraid of houses made in the 1800s. They're probably,
We were in the middle of nowhere, and it was good.
that's not, were you at my sister's house? All right. Let's save our comments to the end. I think there's a few more comments, but let's talk about how did these mountains get there in the first place? Mountain formation. Mountains are formed by various processes, usually at plate boundaries. They can be classified by how they form and their height. Awesome. Oh, my voice is changing. Awesome. That's what you might think as you look down from a high mountain peak or gaze at mountains along a horizon. Indeed, mountains are awe-inspiring. Not only are they Earth's highest surface features, but they are some of the most beautiful. From the Alps in Central Europe to the Rockies in North America. That's not ours. Rockies are out near Denver. Mountains make up the backdrop of many of the world's scenic spots. Grand in scale and great in mass, mountains may seem permanent. However, like Earth's other features, they are continually being created and destroyed. Most mountains form at or near plate boundaries. In fact, most of the largest mountain ranges form where two plates collide and force layers of rock into folds. These are known as fold mountains. The Andes, shown below, are examples, and that's on page C62. Folding often occurs at the edge of a continent and results in long, narrow mountain ranges, such as the Andes along South America's west coast. In one of the grade levels, because we're learning about this in the other grade levels too, they do mention the Adirondack Mountains. I do not see that for 5th grade. Who knows? We may come across that tomorrow. But let's save some of this reading for tomorrow. There's not that many pages this time, C63 and C64. Let me do a time check on our video. Yeah, we're almost at 7 minutes. So let's save those 2 pages for tomorrow and the next day. You can read them at home. And when you get to C65, really we haven't been writing the questions, but if you want extra practice, you can write the answers at home and have your mom or dad check them, or have a discussion with them about the questions. Okay, so that's an option for at home. We will continue to have this great discussion about mountains. Why do you go there? It's beautiful. And you get away from all the hubbub of the city, and you can just kind of relax. I had the most relaxing time at my sister's at the base of the Adirondack Mountains, and her husband's a good chef. Very good. Chef Rob. Okay. We will see the 5th graders tomorrow where we would continue our discussion about mountains. Caroline, what are you trying to say before we sign off?
Bye.
Oh, she's just saying goodbye. Okay, 5th grade, continue to read, and we will see you tomorrow.